Planning a trip to Gatlinburg? Before you pack your bags and hit the road, let me save you from making some rookie mistakes that can turn your dream getaway into a bit of a nightmare. Trust me, these are things you do not want to do when visiting Gatlinburg. Stick around, because one of these tips could be the difference between a fantastic trip and a total disaster, especially the last one, which could completely change your experience. Alright, first things first, let's talk about traffic. Gatlinburg might be a small, charming town, but don't let that fool you. Traffic can be a real headache, especially during peak seasons like summer and the fall foliage rush. If you're planning to drive into town, avoid arriving in the middle of the day when the traffic is at its worst. You could be sitting in your car for what feels like forever, inching along the parkway with everyone else who didn't get the memo. Instead, aim to get there early in the morning or later in the evening. And here's a pro tip. Sometimes your GPS might lead you straight into a bottleneck. Locals know that taking some of the lesser known roads like the bypass can save you a ton of time and stress. Plus, you might even catch a few more scenic views on the way. Speaking of driving, another big no-no is overpaying for parking. Trust me, downtown Gatlinburg's parking situation can be a bit of a tourist trap in itself. Some lots charge more than double than what they should because they're closer to the main attractions. But here's the deal. Look for the city-owned lots that offer better rates, or consider parking a little further away and enjoying a leisurely walk into town. Not only will you save money, but also you will get to experience more of Gatlinburg's charming streets on foot. And who knows that you might stumble upon a cute little shop or cafe you would have missed otherwise. Now, this one might seem obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people get so caught up in the attractions and shops that they skip out on one of Gatlinburg's biggest treasures, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This park is literally right next door and it's free to enter. Whether you're into hiking, wildlife spotting, or just soaking in the breathtaking views, the park has something for everyone. If you're short on time, even take a quick drive along the newfound Gap Road or visit Klingman's Dome, the highest point in Tennessee. It is worth it. Don't be that person who leaves Gatlinburg without experiencing the natural beauty that makes this area so special. Now, here's a tip that can make or break your entire trip. There's one mistake that many visitors make, and it can seriously ruin your whole Gatlinburg experience. Stay tuned because this one's coming up next, and trust me, you'll want to hear it before you set foot in Gatlinburg. Let's be real, Gatlinburg has its fair share of tourist traps. From overpriced attractions to shops selling the same souvenirs on every corner, it's easy to get caught up in the hype. Now don't get me wrong, some attractions are absolutely worth every penny, like Ripley's Aquarium at the Smokies or the Gatlinburg Skybridge, but others, not so much. Before you fork over your hard-earned cash, do a little research. Check out reviews, ask locals for recommendations, and don't feel pressured to do every single thing that catches your eye. Sometimes the best experiences are the ones that you discover by wandering off the beaten path or listening to a local suggestion. Remember, quality over quantity. Gatlinburg is a popular destination, which means it can get crowded, especially during holidays and weekends. To make the most of your trip, planning ahead is key. Want to dine at a popular restaurant like the Peddler Steakhouse or the Pancake Pantry? Make those reservations well in advance because they fill up fast. Planning to catch a show or take a scenic drive? Do it during off-peak hours to avoid the masses. And here's a little insider tip. Some of the best experiences in Gatlinburg can be found early in the morning or later in the evening when the crowds have thinned out. Imagine having a peaceful morning hike or a quiet dinner with mountain views all to yourself. Sounds pretty perfect, right? Alright, you've waited long enough. The number one thing you should never do when visiting Gatlinburg? Don't ignore the weather. The Smoky Mountains are famous for their unpredictable weather, and it can change in an instant. You might start your day with clear, sunny skies, only to find yourself in a sudden downpour by the afternoon. Always check the forecast before heading out for the day, and pack accordingly, especially if you're planning to hike or explore the outdoors. Bring layers, rain gear, and maybe even an extra pair of shoes. Trust me, nothing ruins a day in the mountains like being soaked and cold because you didn't prepare for the weather. And if you do get caught in the rain, consider it part of the adventure. After all, the mist and fog can make the Smokies look even more magical. So there you have it, my top tips on what not to do when visiting Gatlinburg. Avoid these common mistakes, and you're in for an unforgettable trip filled with nothing but good vibes and great memories. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more travel tips and guides. And if you've got any Gatlinburg tips of your own, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching, and happy travels!